does Congress even have the power to regulate firearms in the first place? It's nowhere to be found in Article 1, Section 8, which was intended to specifically detail all the powers that Congress has. There's nowhere in there where it says Congress gets to make policy around firearms. So how do they get there? The Commerce Clause. The power to regulate interstate commerce, which the Founding Fathers wanted a free trade zone, right? They didn't want the states erecting barriers to trade between the different states. So this gives rise to almost all of our federal crimes, right? The ones that occur on federal property involve federal agents, that's different. And people don't understand this. By the way, it's not just my view. There's a case working its way up to the Supreme Court, the Range case. It deals with the question of whether somebody who got a felony conviction, or in that specific case, it was a misdemeanor punishable by over 2 years, can be determined to be a prohibited possessor. And if you look in the dissent to that case, which by the way held that under Bruin, you can't tell them they're prohibited possessors anymore because it's not within our nation's history and tradition. But in the dissent, one of the judges on the federal appellate court, it was either the Third or the Fifth Circuit, I can't remember, made the case Congress has no power to regulate firearms in the first place. What are we even talking about here? We've traveled so far from what was intended to be a strictly limited federal government with strictly limited and enumerated powers and very limited jobs to an almost endless jurisdiction to do very few cases have ever been decided, at least post New Deal era, that have said Congress exceeded its jurisdiction under the Commerce Clause.